here in the Phil Oil Eco Oil Center for the last game of our Saturday triple header. The UST-GAMEVILLE Golden Spikers found themselves in a tight position after losing their match against Savage yesterday. Meanwhile, the CIGNAL Super Spikers faced a devastating loss as well against Crisscross in a 5-setter match. UST actually won against CIGNAL in the elimination. So the question stands now, what difference will it make now that they're meeting here in the semifinals? May Reyes at your service, reporting courtside. This is the Spikers Turf Invitational Conference where power meets passion.
Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you back to the Phil Oil Center here in San Juan City for our continuing coverage of the 2025 Spikers Turf Invitational Conference Semifinals. The third matchup, the third and final one in today's triple header. And boy, things are starting to shape up in our semifinals picture. We are going to show you just what that means. But of course, the game today, UST-GAMEVILLE Golden Spikers taking on the CIGNAL Super Spikers here for our final matchup for today. Hello and thank you so much for joining us here over on Pilipinas Live. I'm Pablo Del Rosario alongside Jamie Lavidoria. It is May Reyes joining us on the sidelines. It's such a pleasure to be working with you again, partner.
You said it, Pao. And of course, both teams are actually coming from a loss, and the top 4 teams are the only teams that are able to move to the next round, so this should be a good one.
And of course, if you heard her report a while ago, May was telling us that this is actually a bit of a grudge match because UST took a scalp of CIGNAL last time around. But let's take a look at the tournament format here because this is very important.
Yes.
It's a must-win here for both these teams, having lost their first matchup in the semis.
That's right, Pao. The top 4 teams joined by the 2 foreign guest teams, and this is all a single round robin. And of course, the top 2 teams play for that championship. Rank 3 and rank 4 play for the battle for bronze.
And of course, with that, the stage is set. You have to figure out here, if you're CIGNAL, you want to make sure that you won't have a repeat of what happened in the preliminaries where UST took home a surprise result against CIGNAL. But let's take a look at what happened to UST last time around. They did lose their first game here in the semifinals, and it was against the Savage Spin Doctors. They started out well, partner. In fact, they took the first frame. It was an extended one, but from that point on, it was a bit of a tailspin against the Spin Doctors.
No, Pao, it doesn't matter how you start, but the importance is how you finish. They did lack in that finishing kick, and it was advantage for the Savage squad, and UST unable to claim that. Take a look at the score in set number 1, 27-25, and there you see it in 25-21 in set number 4. They were unable to maximize, and of course, 11 blocks from Savage, but 34 errors for UST.
34 errors for UST. That's the number we're going to try and monitor throughout the day. But apart from that, because of national team duties, they actually are a bit short-handed. And this boy, G-Boy in particular, G-Boy De Vega, has to step up. He is the next Tiger up, and they are missing. I'm going to list them all down. Josh Ibanez, JJ Macam, and Albuquerque.
Well, G-Boy understands that he has to step. There are key players that are missing for UST, but he knows that he has to be that leader, and not only that leader when it comes to stats, but that leader in terms of when the things go down. It's important that he has that communication, and take a look at that 18 points in their last match. But let's see if they rise above in this game today.
Again, he is one of the guys that we are going to assume has to take control if UST stand chance against the CIGNAL Super Spikers. But can G-Boy become a G-Man here today? We are going to now take a look at what's going to happen when we look at CIGNAL's last game, because it was a bit of a heartbreaker.
Yes.
Anyone watching it just yesterday against the King Crunchers saw a very determined stand. It was a dramatic 5-setter. Unfortunately, it was CIGNAL who fell just a bit short.
You know, it's always been that much-awaited rivalry here in the Spikers turf. Crisscross up against the CIGNAL Super Spikers. And of course, the games always last in 5 sets. Take a look at the scores. 24-26, and of course in the 5th set, crisscross, ending with that finishing kick that Signal actually needed in sets 2-4.
You know, one of the numbers, if you're Signal, that you're going to be concerned about is the number of block points that you gave away to crisscross. We're going to find out if that is going to be something that they could address in this matchup against UST. Obviously not a team that blocks just as well, but we're going to find out if there's going to be a difference. Take a look at Steven Rodder. He came up big in that last game. One of the guys who really stepped up here and has to step up, again, with national team players out for Signal as well.
I mean, Steven Rodder has always been that stable force, whether he's coming from the front row or the back row. He knows that he needs to be that leader for his team. He is firm, he is confident, he's also tall and athletic. He's tallied 25 points, but unfortunately was not enough against the crisscross King Crunchers. But let's see if they could redeem themselves today.
You know, the caption there, that subtitle, Unleashed, it was just perfect to describe Steven Rodder in that last game. Of course, there he is. He's waving now, but later on the smile will go away because he's going to be out to get that win. Now, you can join in the conversation by using the hashtag SpikerSurf2025. We can't wait to hear from you. Tell us all what you think about Jamie. And of course, tell us all what you think about the game that we are about to have. So in just a bit, we're going to have the first serve. And at this point, we'd like to turn it over to the floor to find out who will be starting today's matchup.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the last match of today's triple header. This is the Spiker Surf 2025 Invitational Conference, where power meets passion. Live here at Playtime Fuel Oil Center, San Juan City, is the semifinals round, match number 34. Let us welcome the UST-GAMEVILLE Golden Spikers and their opponents, the Signal Super Spikers. Officiating this match, our national officials. First referee, Mr. Fernando Velarde. Second referee, Mr. Daniel Palaga. Introducing the starters. First, for the UST-GAMEVILLE Golden Spikers. Let's start with their team captain at number 7, Dux Yambao. Wearing jersey number 1, G-Boy De Vega. At number 14, Trevor Valera. Number 15, Iggy Umandal. At 18, Ryden Katigsag. Number 19, Andre Delicana. Their starting libero, number 12, Adrian Alabon. Game coach for this match is Mr. Benjamin Mape. Calling on the Signal Super Spikers. Let's start with their team captain, jersey number 8, JP Bugawan. At number 4, Steven Rotter. Jersey number 10, Wendell Miguel. At number 11, Jao Umandal. Number 15, Martin Bugawan. At 18, Chris Sila. Starting libero number 12, Van Prudenciado. Head coach is Mr. Dexter Clamore. This is the semifinals match between UST-GAMEVILLE Golden Spikers and the Signal Super Spikers.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are the starters for the UST Golden Spikers. As you can see here, there are a couple of changes. That is because Josh Ibanez, JJ Makam, and Al-Bukhari are not present due to national team duties. On the other end, Signal will not have Owa Retamar, Louis Ramirez, and Lloyd Josafat, as well as Vince Lorenzo. So here are the starters for the Signal Super Spikers. And of course, even the coaching staff of UST a bit absent here. Coach Oji Mamon not present due to national team duties as well. So a bit of adjustment here for UST and the Signal as well. The question is, which team has more depth? Which team can stay consistent despite many changes, key changes in the rosters? Of course, what a time to have it in the semifinals. Once again, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Paulo Del Rosario alongside Jamie La Vitoria. May Reyes joins us on the sidelines. Welcome to your Spikers Turf Invitational Conference semifinals. And we just have to say, must-win contest here, Jamie, for both these teams as Signal gets on the board first.
That's right, pal. I mean, it's only our second day of the semifinals, but every point, every game carries so much weight. But you're right, it all boils down to the team that can make those in-game adjustments early on and have that finishing kick that I talked about in the pregame.
And of course, so that finishing kick so important because, again, with a single round robin format, one loss could be devastating.
Yes.
Two could almost be a death sentence going into what they're hoping as a gold medal matchup. But we got to talk about some of the other aspects, the side stories here, as Bugawan is able to come up big yet again. That's going to be a block touch. So, we have two Omandals on the floor here, partner.
I know. That's wild.
I know. I mean, like, I remember back in the day when there was only one Umandal we were covering. Now there are
there's
two.
And they're both lethal. They have a lot of firepower. And it's just crazy how the level of play has just leveled up here for men's volleyball.
And there's UST able to strike back 2-1 early on here. And if you're UST, you know, we referenced it a while ago. Their last matchup here in the semifinals against Savuj, they started out well, 27-25 in frame number 1. But they did give up 34 errors in only 4 frames. And in context here, Signal had around 30 plus in a 5-setter against Crisscross.
I mean, it's okay to have those errors, but it's just what's not shown on our screen sometimes when looking at the stats is the timing of the errors.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have a missed serve or an attack that hits the net, but that leads the team to game point or match point. It just depends on the timing of the errors, but having above 20 errors in a game is already a lot.
Yes, that's true. And unfortunately here for UST, the younger Umandal sends that a bit wide. And now we have Steven Rotter here to serve for Signal. Again, I think there's no doubting his quality, talking about Rotter. And we saw that he was unleashed in that last game against Crisscross. Unfortunately, it was not to be there for Signal. And he'll want to make sure he gets a win here. And that time, just a bit too high. The connection not quite there.
There's a missed timing on that set, a bit too outside for Umandal to attack. You know, it's very important that the setters of both teams actually allow their spikers to shine. That's the whole point. That's their main priority. But let's see how things will unfold because both teams are coming from a loss.
Yeah, that's true. As Katinsag here with the serve. Umandal.
Oh, jeez.
Kuya Umandal getting right in front of his younger brother.
Oh, my goodness. What a swing going down the line. And if I were, on the other side, I would probably want like a helmet or something.
Oh yeah, you know
like
what?
a shield.
I have a feeling that they've done that so many times growing up, by the way, that particular
Probably.
matchup. But then this one, I don't know, his smile was so big, by the way, as
Yes.
Umandal here gets an ace. His smile was so big, bigger than what it normally was
Yes, it
after
was.
after that point. But then let's take a look at this ace again. He has such a lethal serve.
And that serve, he actually softened it, which delayed the timing of the defense
Yeah.
here. So he's that good that he can control the power. Let's see if he goes, yep. He
Well,
tries to go hard on that one.
When we say lethal, it doesn't necessarily mean it's just strong, right? It has
Yes.
that variety to be able
The
to get the
smarts.
point. Yeah.
It's not always about who hits the strongest, but who plays the smartest, who targets the corner pockets. It's placement at the end of the day.
G-Boy De Vega able to pull one back here. As Sherwin Umandal trying to do what his brother just did. Oh, maybe
Ooh.
not. So, again.
Nerves, I guess, against Kuya.
Yeah, no, I don't know if it's nerves or maybe it's because the commentator mentioned him
Yes,
again.
yeah.
So it's just one of those things. I'll take the blame here
Yeah.
for Sherwin.
But just once, though.
Just once, yeah. That's your pass.
Yeah, just one.
Signal trying to get going yet again. JP Bugaon with the serve a
Oh,
while ago. And
goodness.
what a reply coming from UST.
What a swing, going cross court, avoiding that block of Signal.
G-Boy De Vega.
G-Boy, yes.
And such a promising player here. Talking about G-Boy.
So consistent as well.
G-Boy De Vega here with the serve. That's a heavy serve.
Oh, good play.
From the back, Umandal. And there's going to be a net violation against UST. So point will go to Signal anyway. 8-4, going into our first technical timeout in set number 1. Don't go away. You're watching the Spikers still.
Back inside the Phil Oil Eco Oil Center, you're still watching the Spikers Surf Invitational Conference where power meets passion. No rest for the weary ang atake ng Signal Super Spikers, but that's the life and their usual routine. And Jao Umandal shared he had enough rest naman daw even after ending last night's long match with a loss. But the big win for Jao Umandal, it's definitely playing the full 5 sets yesterday. Sabi pa nga ni Jao, it's his first time to play all the sets in one game, especially after recovering from a series of injuries. So now that he's all okay, physically, mentally, and emotionally, Jao and the rest of the Super Spikers are determined to shake off their LM's loss against USC and Crisscross. But for now, back to you, Paolo and Jamie.
Thank you so much, May. That report, I'm sure, makes a lot of people feel happy simply because Jao Umandal is one of the most explosive scorers that we have here in Spikers Turf. And having him healthy is good for the league, it's good for national team consideration, and good for the fans as well.
Of course. I mean, like May mentioned, he played in all sets yesterday, and having to show up today is not an easy task. But of course, he's that leader for Signal.
That's a good block there coming from USD. And that was a problem. That's a problem here for Signal, that they were blocked. Maybe not easily is a rough term to use, but then Crisscross definitely took advantage of their net defense against Signal.
Well, it's all dependent on the setter, Katinsag, and he maybe needs to activate a combination play for Signal, except for that one, though.
Oh,
what
yeah.
a swing going down the line.
Oh, that was a lot different. Wenda Miguel with the point.
What a swing. And just giving his attacker just one block.
Now, for both these teams, I'm sure the battle cry is similar. Bawi. In fact, I heard that when Signal was doing their warm-ups, they were just telling each other, okay, bawi tayo from that game last time around, that 5-setter. And this time the point will go the way of Signal due to an overreach. For UST, I'm sure it's the same thing.
Of
But
course.
at the same time, because they're a younger team, because they're a team that has had a lot of people come in come out rather due to national team duties,
Yes.
it's harder to recover for a group like UST.
Of course, and just having to adjust to a new lineup, players coming in and out, that's just a true test. But UST just down by 3 now here in set number 1.
Well, they're showing that there are no pushovers here, talking about UST, and that's exactly how they want it. As Bao was on the service line here.
Oh, wow.
Ooh!
Oh.
And oh my God, that felt a bit unconventional.
I'm confused. He also received that looking like he was going for a middle swing. That's how good he is.
Yeah, you know what? In other sports, sa basketball, that's a give and go. Sa football, that's a 1-2.
How
Sa
about
volleyball,
here?
I don't know. You tell me.
I don't know what that was. That's just too fast.
It just worked.
Yes.
It just worked. But that works too, as the younger Umandal scores from the wing.
Umandal going cross, just avoiding that block. Let's take a look at that one more time. What a swing against Kuya Umandal.
8 serving 11 here. Signal still in charge. Rotter.
Oh, jeez.
You know, the thing is that he has so much length, Thomas Rotter.
Yes.
And he uses it to the max.
Strength and length for Steven here, targeting zone 6.
You know, just the accuracy there as well. It feels like he can hang on to the air forever.
Yes.
Heavy serve there. Yambao with the setup. Umandal pops it back up. Who they turn to? Great coverage there by Prudenciado. Umandal takes it soft.
That's down. This is what I was saying earlier about using your smarts. He knew that defense was there down the line, going for that cross, but changing speed, changing direction this time against UST.
I remember covering Jao Umandal when he was younger, and it felt like he was reliant on his power. But now it feels like
right?
he is able to add variety to
Yeah.
the way that he attacks. As Steven Rotter sends that long.
Definitely changed that. Now he has control after his swing. Just growing as a player.
9-7-13 here. UST refused to go away. Signal still in charge. They've been in charge since the very beginning of this frame. But UST not going down without a fight. Katinsag with the serve. Here's Umandal. Well, we said that he scores in a variety of ways. That time he gave us a familiar taste of the power that he could bring.
Umandal this time going cross court in a broken block by UST. And no coverage by UST in that sequence.
Here's Umandal. And the way that he was serving a while ago, partner, he managed to show us a bit of a variety. This time, adding a bit more weight into that swing. Ball headed towards us, but Wendell Miguel saves us. Free ball to play with here for UST. Soft touch,
Is that
and
outside?
that's out.
That is outside, so the point will be rewarded to Signal in this sequence. Let's take a look at this one more time. Just miscalculating that one.
Again, good idea. Execution not quite there.
Yes. Good choice.
Yeah. Jao Umandal, 6 points already in this one. An ace and 7. Or rather, 7 points already. Now it's a heavy serve. Dealt well
touch.
with though, and G-Boy has been doing it all here. Trying to keep UST within touching distance, and they have a chance to at least save a couple of points before the second technical timeout.
You know, with UST, yes, G-Boy De Vega has been that spark plug for UST, but it can't just be him shining. Everyone needs to have that collaborative effort in order to rack up wins.
Josh Avila comes in here for UST. Ready to serve. Service specialist for this group.
Oh,
Rotter. Jeez Louise is right. Steven Rotter sends us to our second technical timeout with a heavy hit. 6-point lead here for Signal. Don't go away.
Top 5 players ko sa Spikers Turf. Unang-una, si Mark Espejo. Siya yung isa sa phenom sa Philippine Volleyball. Number 2, Owaret Amar. Magaling mag-set. Number 3, Kim Malabunga. One of the explosive middle blockers. Number 4, Greg Dolor, kasi inaabangan ko kanyang pagbabalik. At ang number 5 ko, si Wendell Miguel, ang aming superhero.
Well, that's the gimme 5 here of Bugawan. And it's always an interesting note because sometimes you think that these players don't think of other players as much.
Right.
But then there's always going to be that surprise pick like, hey, I never thought that you'd pick this guy. So again, that's his choice. And we can't wait to hear for more of our players as the conference proceeds. But at the moment here, Signal, 6-point lead, trying to put away UST here.
Good serve.
Very good serve, and that's an ace.
JP Bugawan just getting his service ace in set number 1, and UST unable to get some rhythm here as the score is now 10-17 in favor of Signal.
Well, you know, UST have had their moments here. They went on a few short runs themselves. Avila with a setup. G-Boy De Vega pulls one back, and again, most of it has been because of G-Boy's swing.
Yes. I mean, that was another broken block by Signal. And G-Boy De Vega just using all his might against that tall wall.
You know, you got to think as well. G-Boy's providing a lot of offensive productivity here for UST, including an ace. Wendell Miguel unable to handle that. You know, he's one of the more exciting talents here at UST.
That's right. Let's take a look at that one more time. From the front row to now, a service ace.
How about Shnaki coming in here for Wendell Miguel? Again, our pronunciation is because of our very own May Reyes. So if anyone is offended by our pronunciation, if we might get it wrong, that is because we were coached by our courtside reporter, May Reyes.
That's what she told us.
Of course, Naki coming in today for Wendell Miguel. And these are guys who would get more minutes because of the national team duties of some of the players here for both teams, really. As we see the service error count there a while ago. And I believe there's going to be
a football challenge.
A football challenge, yeah. So the siren is up. Let's take a look at that again. Or rather, we're going to wait for our replay system, our challenge system here, to be able to provide us with the proper footage. But so far, partner, your impressions here of Signal, it feels like they're out for blood simply because they felt that they could have won that last game last night. It became an extended 5-setter. And at the end of 5 sets, if you end up with a loss, a close loss, it feels so much worse.
And, you know, at the end of the day, you want to rack up more wins here in the semifinals. And they have no choice now. They lost yesterday against Crisscross, and they have to defeat UST just to rack up more wins. And as for UST, they're kind of playing flat, I would say, here in set number 1, down by 5. And it just can't be G-Boy De Vega. I mentioned this earlier. We need more activations from Trevor. He hasn't even touched the ball, number 14, Valera. No shared load here.
Yeah, you know what? You take a look at that last game, Gisabuch, and there it is, center line fault.
Yes, his right foot. It has to be the whole foot.
And ooh.
But
no. Close. It has to be the whole foot. Yeah. So the heel is there.
Inches.
Well, you know what? He's going to be happy that that's his foot size. That's an unsuccessful challenge here for Signal. So close, but no cigar.
That was a close one.
They had to zoom in and make sure.
Yes, of course.
But either way, still a 5-point lead. Unfortunately for USC, the point given straight back. So Signal now up by 6 yet again, 19-13, and what has been one-way traffic. Ashnaki here on the service line for Signal. Jair Ashnaki did play. He scored 1 point in their 5-setter against Crisscross. Sends that straight back to the net, though. That's Yambao on the service line here for UST. Trying to see if there is a comeback on the cards. You know, there has to be... I'm sure there are a lot of questions going to be asked of this UST team because even Coach Oji Mamon is not here.
Right, of course.
Benjamin Mape in charge here of UST. Service error count here, 3-2. Unfortunately, in favor of UST. Good save there by Provinciano. Omandal lifts it up high. Yambao. Free ball here for Signal. Who do they turn to? Turn to
Good
Omandal.
play. That is a smart play by Umandal, just beating that block of UST. We have to look at that one more time. That's a shoot set going to the left pin, and no defense found by UST.
I wonder if Omandal is enjoying playing in that area right in front of his younger brother.
He loves it.
Oh, I'm sure. Every point he'll be texting, oh, look at this.
Remember this point?
Kept alive. Omandal trying to make something out of nothing. Yambao to the younger Omandal.
What a hammer going down the line by Umandal of UST this time.
Not sure when Omandal was able to have that swing. Hernandez now on the service line here for UST. Still 5-point lead though. They got to chain together a couple of points here. Talking about UST. Chris Hernandez with the serve. They go to Omandal again. At that time.
Is there a touch on that one? Yep.
Yeah, there is. Katinsag, I believe, may have gotten a feel. So time called on the floor. Chance to listen in to UST.
Binitin, ikaw naman nakatingala ka ng ano, ganyan para makakagalaw ka. Uy, hindi ka bumlak. Pinabayaan mo, ang layo ni Dak nakabang si Pak doon sa malakas na bola. Kasi sino ba tumakbo ka doon sa likod? Sino sa unahan? Ikaw, saka si G-Boy. O, gato gawin mo ha. Papunta to dito. Sherwin, ready ka, single block ka dyan. Ito dito yung isa. Sigap, ha? Okay, coach. Para bumuka, ready ka.
Again, just making sure that everyone's held accountable. Of course, Coach Mape was actually pointing out the people who felt that were not doing their responsibility in the blocking department.
And you can feel the frustration and his vibe in that timeout because he knows what his team can do and they're not doing it in the game. And of course, it all starts in training. But let's see.
Yeah, because it's one thing to be scored on when you're doing the right thing, but then if it's when you miss an assignment, that's a bit of a frustration. And that Sherwin Omandal and Jao Omandal meeting at the net. And let's take a look at that again. We'll let the pictures tell the story.
It's an overpass by Steven. And we love that added celebration after that one.
I'm really curious about their dynamic at home, the two
I was just
Omandal
going to
brothers.
say, after this.
Oh my goodness. Jao Omandal. He's playing with such character, such personality, such emotion. Let's take a look at that again. And he'll wind this up and bam. Jao Omandal. Classic. Let's listen in again.
Gawin natin ha. Ulitin mo yun. Ready kayo. Ang option mo. 4 lagi ang option mo. Kailangan makakuha ka ng ng blocker na magpakita ka.
Sige lang.
Sige lang.
Asan tayo? Ay!
Ready sa
Sa
coverage.
baka ipasok lang yung serve.
Ready sa coverage ha. Ready sa coverage ha.
Hey,
Okay?
You know, Jamie, that felt like a teaching moment yet again.
I know, very firm. I saw him very frustrated after that because there was still no blocker found for USC, and that was his main focus in his previous timeout. I mean, Signal has been doing a good job in terms of just giving one blocker on the other side, but it needs to be consistent all throughout.
Much better here. There were 3 blockers, but the coverage not quite there for Signal. Casanya coming in here for Rotter. Yamanaka will check in as well here for Katinsag for UST. Ryuichi Yamanaka, who was actually registered as a libero in their last game.
Well, luckily with UST, they're able to switch around multiple positions as Umandal brings Signal to set point.
You know, João Mandal has been on a tear here in set number 1. Let's take a look at that again.
Mandal, I believe, already in double digits here this game with 11 points.
Here's Mandal, ready with a service ace. Another one here will seal the set. Yambao lifts that up. Barely kept that up, and that will be 2 touches against Bugawan.
I believe that's a double contact by Signal.
So they're clarifying here. But either way, the point will go here to UST. Coach Dex not happy with that.
Yeah, he's not happy with that.
Let's see. Watch Bugawan there, closest to the net. But either way, so while we were showing you that replay, it was a service out from UST. So that means we are going to end the first frame here with Signal taking the win here. Let's take a look at that last one. Omandal tried to play it a bit safe, but that one just went too long, way too long.
And untimely as well for UST.
Unfortunate error there, but that'll do it for set number 1. Don't go away. We'll come back with second frame, 25-17 in favor of Signal in the opening frame. Welcome back. You're still watching your Spikers Turf Semifinals. Let's take a look at set 1 highlights here where the Signal Super Spikers were able to take the win against UST in a relatively comfortable fashion here.
Right. I mean, the Signal Super Spikers were breezing through set number 1, and you have to give credit to Umandal Roder, and they were that stable force as you saw Steven Roder attack that from the back row, but UST unable to find their rhythm in that game. It's G-Boy De Vega who was doing and calling all the shots, but it was just not enough. As we see the set 1 stats here, 11 attacks for UST and 16 for the Signal Super Spikers. And Pao, take a look at that UST tallying 7 errors in just set number 1, which is a very high number. You need to aim at least below 4.
Yeah, so that was one of the key concerns here of UST. Actually, at the start of the conference, they were changing their system, they were adjusting, they were giving up a lot of errors, especially early on. But now with a bit of a reshuffle of their lineup because of 3 of their players and their head coach being part of the national team, that means that there's going to be a bit of adjustment period yet again. And on the other end for Signal, despite giving up those 2 blocks, which we felt could have been a little point of concern here, considering the blocks they gave up against Chris Cross, it didn't really matter as much here.
You know, with Signal, after that tough loss against Chris Cross, they want to redeem themselves after yesterday. And this is what they're showing, especially Steven Roder, in this game today. And UST, we need to see more activation from the right pin and the middle blockers. Talking about UST cannot just be De Vega tallying all the points.
That's true. So at the moment here, we're looking at some of the top scorers here for UST. So you mentioned a while ago, De Vega had 6 points. But then apart from that, no other player has scored more than 2, right? And if you take a look at what happened against Abuj, they actually had Andre Delicana with 14 and Sherwin Umandal with 12. Shnaki gets that one for a Signal to start things off here in set number 2.
That's his first point of the match. Shnaki going down the line. What a swing.
So Jared, they're getting chance from his teammates.
Yes.
They all love that, the fact that he's there. So this is going to be free ball to play with here for UST.
Good touch on that one, but that's a block touch, and the point will be rewarded to UST.
Now, if you're UST here, you cannot afford to let Signal get too comfortable. Because
Yes.
it felt like the way they ended the first frame was very relaxed if you're
Yes.
Signal. UST has got to make them uncomfortable here in set number 2.
Not only that, they need to step it up a bit more because Signal is just laser focused from set number 1. And let's see if UST even can match the energy and the prowess of Signal in set number 2 here.
Martin Bugawan with that last point. He had 9 points in the last game. And that time, unable to find the line, tried to go cross court.
That one does sail outside, trying to target zone 4, but not proper execution in that one.
So we mentioned Delicana and Umandal, who were the double-digit scorers in their last game against Savuj, and have yet to really find the rhythm. And as I say that, Delicana scores here for UST to trim the lead down to 1.
That's a good swing down the line, just delaying the blocker and fooling the defense of Signal.
You know, for those who do not get as much playing time because of the amount of talent in front of them in the roster for UST and as well as for Signal,
Oh, jeez.
you just gotta feel as Michael Bugawan scores yet again. This is also an opportunity for them to show that they may deserve more minutes moving forward.
You know, the only way to improve is when you're given playing time, and
Yeah.
this is what we're seeing from UST and Signal. I mean, it all starts in training, but the real test, Pau, is during game time.
Oh, and what a block there. There was nothing going past that.
That's a good swing block, and no coverage for UST this time. A unified block here. Take a look at that press.
So Umandal will be credited with that one. Martin Bugawan with another serve. Gets a bit of the tape, but goes across. Yambao with the setup. Bugawan with the reception. Umandal lifts it up. Trying to make something out of nothing. It's a mad scramble. Now it's a free ball. Signal. Who did it look for?
Oh, gosh.
JP Bugawan. I felt like that was really meant for Umandal, but Bugawan was
Yes.
right there anyway.
I mean, he has that hang time as well. Let's take a look at that one more time. Was able to adjust to the
Yeah.
set that was a bit too high.
Yeah, I was going to say. But, you know, a bit of improvisation. That would normally work. But scoring on the block touch works as well, too.
So off the block by Steven Rotter. The point will be rewarded to UST this time.
Captain Zag now on the service line here for UST. Still a 3-point lead. Point here could be big for the Golden Spikers. Bugawan stuffed at the net. Valera enjoyed that one.
You know, Valera, that's a solid monster block, but he has not tallied enough points, only 2 so far.
Well, that's already halfway through his tally against Savuj. He had only 4 points in their last game. Lifts it up. Who do they turn to here? Umandal, soft touch, nothing there. Rotter to Umandal.
Net touch.
And Valera will be hit with a net touch. And that's another error here for UST. And you just got to feel that those types of errors, they'll go away with time and experience.
Of course. And he's going to learn to block better as well. It's the small movements that make the big changes here, talking about Valera.
Yambao lifts that up. Rotter able to keep it alive. Jao Mandal, little push. Yambao literally pushes his teammate away. They go to the other side now, trying to move around the blockers, and that works.
That's a smart play for UST, switching and delaying the blockers for the Signal Super Spikers. And De Vega just on a roll.
Well, De Vegas finding his groove yet again. Did that in the first frame. The leading scorer for UST.
Oh, wow.
Mandal.
Goodness.
Jao Mandal there. You know, every time he looks over his shoulder, it feels like there's something added there. 3-point lead for Signal going into the first technical timeout.
Back inside the Phil Oil Eco Oil Center, you're still watching the Spikers Surf Invitational Conference where power meets passion. While USC proved that they could beat Signal in the preliminaries, the challenge and opportunity for them is right now. Talking about the USC Golden Spikers and Trevor Valera, who told me earlier na their gunners may or may not significantly shift the tides here with their absent, but they beat them once, they can do it all again. After all, this is the challenge for them to unleash their full potential, just like what they did against FEU, but doing just that here in the semis. And just like what Trevor also said, will give them a good fight for sure. But for now, back to you, Paolo and Jamie.
Thank you so much, May. New season, bigger stories. Aces returns for Season 2 only on the Pilipinas Live app. Download and register now and stream all Pilipinas Live originals anytime, anywhere, on any device. I just want to go back to the story of May because that was super interesting coming from Trevor. Trevor says, we beat them once, we can do it again. Despite not having their literal national team players on their roster. That is the confidence you need to approach every game, even if you know you are the underdog.
You know, it just has that growth mindset for a team that needs to rack up more wins. And Valera just adding that much-needed confidence that UST, I think, has needed this entire invitational conference. And kudos to him.
Yeah, for sure. Here's JP Bugawan with the serve. 3-point lead still for Signal. UST trying to put up a fight, looking for a block touch. They won't get it. It will go the way here of Signal. And you know what Trevor has is the one favorite attribute I have of athletes. It's what they call irrational confidence, right? Even if you know that the cards are against you, you are sure, you are confident that you can get the result.
Manifesting, I guess.
For sure. And that time, Michael Bugawan, I believe, will be credited with that block.
And take a look at this replay once again. Yeah, the block is in unison.
Yeah. Silak will be credited with that block. I believe it's also the first time we're seeing Chris Silak
doing the honors here for Signal.
Yambao, they've set up. And there is going to be a point here for Signal. Overreach, yeah. So Yambao was adamant that he didn't commit a violation, but then his teammates all said like, yeah, you did.
Yes, you did. Let's take a look at that one more time. Yep.
All right, so Bugawan here with the serve again for Signal. Well received. Oh my goodness. That was hit with a lot of venom. De Vega reintroducing himself.
You know, I looked to see where the ball lands. It's already on the other side. It already bounced.
It was gone. I couldn't even look at it. It's not fair.
Jeez. Good serve.
Oh! And a joust at the net. Kept alive. Play on, says our official. Nifty.
Oh! Still good.
You know, heavy hits here. Shnaki again. And that time getting that in between the blocker and the net.
No, and I like how they gave Shnaki another chance to attack and breaking that block of UST. Look at that.
Timeout call on Flawless, isn't it?
Hindi ka naman humarang doon sa big wig. Hindi ka ba't pumunta agad doon sa ano? Inantay mo pa pumalo sa pumunta sa open? Tingnan nyo naman, dadalawa. O di, adjust muna ng konti, sabihan, hindi mo rin naman binlock yung big wicket. Nagpaiwan ka pa sa open.
Frustration yet again coming from the bench of UST. And you just gotta feel that these are the learning pains you're going to get when
Yes.
you are a university team, trying to iron out all the deficiencies, trying to make sure that you're there when you need to be. And that has been an issue that we've been hearing from the very beginning of this game.
You know, it's just a learning process for UST. The growing pains that come with being an athlete, having to adjust when you win, having to adjust when you lose, and that's what we're seeing for UST. And it's a privilege going up against, of course, Signal. They've been the champions for the past years, and this is the test for them to learn.
So the point will go the way of UST. For a violation here on Umandal. 13-8. UST still trailing here. Let's take a look at that again, partner.
Yes, a stepping violation there. Good eye for UST.
Oh, Schnacky. You know what? His name may be Schnacky, but he's coming in with a full meal.
That's a good one.
14-8 here.
3 points for Schnacky.
14-8, Signal. Oh, good swing.
Bullseye.
Well, well, well. Just a reminder, they refuse to go down without a fight.
What a swing down the line. Umandal, Kuya Umandal rather, needing one step to the left. He would have gotten that, but a bit too late. What a swing.
You know what? It runs in the family.
It does.
As Rodder answers back.
You know, and Rodder just not giving any momentum to UST this time and silencing them. And take a look at that leap, only up against one block.
And all of a sudden, it feels a bit more tense here.
Yes.
Than one.
I
Because
can feel it.
the hits were heavier. It feels more personal right now. And they are insisting there may be a challenge here. There is going to be a challenge, so we won't go to our second technical timeout just yet, because they're going to check for a block touch challenge here. You know, this is what we like, though. We want to see the personalities
We
of
want it to
UST.
come out.
Yeah.
Yes. And this is good.
They are refusing to go down without a fight. So we're going to see whether or not there is something to this challenge. A block touch is what they are looking for.
And UST just showing more guts, pow, I would say, here in set number 2.
I mean, at the end of the day, at least at this particular junction of the game, it feels like it may be a case of it being overmatched, but it's no block touch here. Close, but no cigar. So that means we are going to go to our second technical timeout. I'll get back to my point later on. 16-9 in favor of Signal. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Okay, so una sa 5 player na napili ko dito sa Spikers Turf. Una si Dax Yambao, syempre para maraming set sa akin. Tapos pangalawa si Kuya Joshua Umandal. Tapos pangatlo would be si Kuya Sian Silang, si J. Rock de la Noche, at si Popoy Colinares.
G-Boy De Vega there with his 5. It's so nice to see the two Umandals made his list. And of course, so many Signal players as well as he goes up toe-to-toe against them. So we are now seeing a lot more fight coming from this UST team. They are still trending the big 7 points here, 16-9, still in favor of Signal. But you know what, partner? We're learning rather more about this UST team game by game, and why people should be excited for them in their own upcoming UAP season.
Of course, we all know that is next year, February 2026, but these are the tournaments where they break those bad habits, learn from their mistakes, and this is the perfect time to showcase and try new things, experiment on maybe new swings down the line, going across, activating the tips a bit more, and this is the perfect time to do it.
Rodder with the swing.
always a bullet coming from Steven Rotter. And take a look at that score. Signal up by 7 points as De La Noche goes in for Signal.
Seven-point lead here for Signal. Rotter on the service line here. 5 attacks, 5 points, and a service error, unfortunately for him, for UST, trailing by 6 here. Around give or take, this is how big the gap was midway through set number 1. 17-11 right now, it should say that, yeah. Okay, so there it is, there's the update as Avila goes to the service line here for UST. Lifting that up.
Oh gosh.
Mandal.
I saw that already in the air. It looked like a sure point already.
You know what? There are some points wherein you just know what's coming and you can't do anything about it. And that's exactly what happened there.
No choice, going cross court.
Of course. And a chance here for Signal to continue their momentum and end this frame early. They are nearing the 20-point threshold here. And they're going to ask for a review.
Challenge.
Yeah, challenge.
A ball in, ball out challenge on the serve of Umandal.
So the coaching staff are thinking like, yeah, it could be there. Close, maybe. Could be very close. But of course, we'll find out because, again, every point important here. It won't be a surprise that they're fighting for each and every one. Big lead here. Ooh, that was so close. That is out. So good call from our officials initially. Zhao having a bit of a laugh. 12 serving 18. Still a long way to go here for UST to make this a competitive frame. But it feels like they are learning, they are growing with each and every point here.
Right.
G-Boy De Vega, who was so good in set number 1 with a service error. Yeah, he was a bit more quiet here in this frame. Yeah.
And you can see that Signal has silenced him.
Yep.
And De Vega also, he was tallying a lot of points in set number 1. It could also be fatigue from both teams as well. We have to keep in mind these games are every day.
Oh yeah, they're every day. The sleep is precious, and Shnaki gives them their just desserts.
He has been that instant impact here for Signal, starting here in set number 2. Take a look at that. Perfect press.
JP Mugawa on the service line here for Signal. They are now past the 20-point mark, trying to get beyond and make quick work of UST.
Outside. The set was a bit too low by Yambao. And that's one of the few times that we've seen Valera attack. He hasn't found his rhythm yet. And Valera's the type of player that needs to get all those reps. So when you randomly set him, it's not easy for him to swing.
Christian Cruz checks in here for UST. As the captain of Signal, Bugawan on the service line. Avila. Oh, the blocking works perfectly.
Avila has just been trapped in that sequence. The block is too hard to get past. I mean, take a look at this block from Signal rather.
Oh, the combination. Timeout called on the floor. Chance to listen in.
Nakakababa na, nakaabot ka na ng blocker mo. Salubungin mo sa taas, doon mo paluin. Hindi naman, abot mo naman eh. Maganda naman yung set eh. Abot tayo kaya ba yun, no? Sampu lang yun, pre. Bago sila makabot. Mag-enjoy kayo. Ang problema natin, pinapalo nyo sa kamay, puro kayo error. Kaya na, bakit yan, ha? Go!
looking for a bit more variety in the way that they go for their attacks. You heard that instruction, or rather that comment towards the end. They are hitting it towards the hands of Signal, but then it's resulting in more errors. Let's see if there's going to be any more adjustments, especially as they're trying to wrap up the second frame in a more positive note. Partner, you got the block stats with you right now. 4 here for Signal, a big improvement from nothing in set number 1.
No, and after that timeout, what I got from UST, they also seem a bit intimidated, of course, by Signal, and you could see it in their play. They're not as fluid with their movements, a bit stiff, a bit tense. And hence, take a look at this score here, up by 9.
Of course, right now Signal wants to end this early. UST wants a bit of pride going into the third frame, a bit more momentum. You know, sometimes sets may be already lost, but then it's the way that you end certain frames, even if you're going to lose it, that might actually carry momentum onto the next one.
That's right. I mean, I think with set number 1 and set number 2, UST just unable to maximize the potential of the spikers.
Yeah. And that's going to be a point here for Signal. Net fault against UST. So things going from bad to worse here. In the first frame, UST leaned on the scoring consistency of G-Boy De Vega. But with G-Boy De Vega's service really cut off here, they have struggled offensively, turning to their other players. Yambao with the reception. He'll try to do it himself. And that'll do it for set number 2, 25-13. Signal looking even better in set number 2, and UST looking like a team looking for that focus and direction. We're going to see if they can find it in set number 3. 25-13 after the second frame. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Sinasadya mo akong masaktan paminsan-minsan, bawat sandali na lang. Nobela at aalis, magbabalik. Bakit nagikilig, apan di ay nagsakit? Di ta uyab, walay ikaw ug ako, apan kung magselos ko, agaw ko buot. Hasula, sige na lang taanig, ha, 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 katawa, ha, 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 hasula.
Normally, I am upset when we listen to Spike the Mic, but that wasn't half bad. 25-13 at the end of set number 2. 2 sets to none in favor of Signal. Again, that was Dux Yambao really enjoying it. I enjoyed it as well. But see, Jay De La Noche, grabe, he ate. It was Jay De La Noche Buena there for that particular number. As we take a look at the highlights of set number 2. Partner, the difference was stark here for UST because they found a bit of comfort, a bit of fight in set number 1. We saw the personality come out midway through this frame, but it felt like they woke up a sleeping giant, which is a Signal Super Spikers.
Let's talk about the set 2 stats here. 8 attacks for UST and 12 for the Signal Super Spikers. And yet again, Pau, the same problem for UST. It's the errors. They tallied 7 in set number 1 and more errors with 9 here in set number 2. And this is something that they do need to minimize because the attacks, the gap is not that far. Yes, it's 4 points away, but at the same time, you need to earn your points and lessen the unforced errors.
Gotta lessen that, and that's been the unfortunate characteristic here of UST. The errors here this conference, and of course for Signal, looking for more of that consistency. The 2025 NBA Emirates Cup is here on Signal. Watch the action this November to December on NBA TV Philippines and Pilipinas Live. As we welcome you back here to the Phil Oil Arena, Phil Oil Center rather, in San Juan City. It is UST taking on Signal. This is our third game in a triple header. For our first game today, Savoj took out Pro Valley to go 2-0 in the standings so far after beating UST in their first matchup. Then Kindai University beating the Crisscross King Crunchers in 4 sets in their second game. They are also with
Yes,
2 wins. Crisscross
right.
getting their first loss of the entire conference. And right now, Signal trying to bounce back against UST, who beat them in the preliminary stage. And remember, Signal did lose that dramatic 5-setter yesterday. Now, we are now seeing here, partner, UST with a bit more smiles.
Smiling. And what better way to start that by doing that in set number 3?
You can sense that they were disappointed by what they showed in set number 2. So this set number 3, it feels like they are trying to go for a bit of a reset here and start off the game with a lot more positivity. And in fact, they'll have the first serve.
No, they need this reset, much needed if they want to extend this match.
Yep.
And for Signal, they want to end this in 3 sets so they can sleep early and prepare for Monday as well.
Ending games early is such a big boost
Yes.
in this particular format, because if you're
Fatigue.
playing every day, you need that. You need that
Yes.
rest. Silang to Rotter. Good defense here shown by UST. Salvador with a good swing.
Oh,
A push there from Silang. Kept alive here, UST going at it. They're trying. And there is a whistle. Not quite sure what the decision will be. The point will go to UST though.
I think
Coach Deck saying yes, there was a violation.
yeah,
So-
just letting that go.
Yeah, letting that go. So UST drawing first blood here in set number 3.
They're pumped up. I can hear the bench.
Yeah, so you feel it. They're trying their best here to approach this frame completely differently to what they did in the first 2. In fact, you're seeing Salvador making his first appearance here. Maybe
Right.
a shift in personnel will also help.
Let's see here if they want to extend this match. And they have no choice but to do it now.
Oh yeah, for sure. You know, a while ago, I thought we were actually up for a 5-setter in our second game today because Dip Dipianco was the commentator. And we all know what happens when Dip is commentating.
Yes.
But
We expect
unfortunately,
that.
yeah, but unfortunately, it was only a 4-setter there. But of course, there at that time, De Vega unable to keep that in here for UST. So Signal now up 2-1.
Good receive there.
Salvador, heavy hit, kept alive. Umandal.
So smart. Just changing speed and softening that swing mid-air, being so deceiving and just delaying the late defense of UST.
You know, that it feels like the game is so slow in the mind of Jao Umandal. He is able to just make the right decisions
Yes.
when given just a second of time.
You know, and for the viewers, it's best to watch these games live.
Yeah.
It's different when you watch it on TV. I mean, you got to come to the Phil Oil Echo Oil Center here.
And really enjoy it as JP Bugawan. Another point here for Signal. So despite the positivity we were seeing from UST, Signal are trying to spread negativity against
Yes.
UST here by just being so efficient in the way that they're playing. Here's Rodder. Oh, what a
Good
heavy
serve.
hit. But what a reception as well.
Oh, goodness.
G-Boy De Vega.
Steven was there, though, down the line.
You know, we're about to see just how good at reception our officials are here. As the ball made its way to our table, or near it. Here's UST, trailing just by 1.
But so far, 2 service errors for
UST.
UST here.
Alabara back in with Katinsag going out due to the rotation. Just a 2-point lead here, and if you're UST, you take a look at the amount of errors you give away per set. If you just keep it down, you never know. You might take a frame away from Signal.
They have 16 so far. Oh, that's a good set.
Oh, De Vega, good hit. Rother with a great reaction. They go back to De Vega. He ran at it. He ran at it.
Bugaon in shock after that swing by G-Boy De Vega.
Take a look at that again, partner. There was a little sprint. He saw everyone.
Look at that.
And watch the flex. There you go.
Game face on.
Lifting that up. Rother sends a free ball here to UST. They look for De Vega again. It doesn't matter how many hands you put right in front of De Vega at the moment. He'll still find a way to score.
It's a back-to-back points for G-Boy De Vega. Let's take a look at the location of that block. A triple block against the shining light in G-Boy De Vega.
Well, he disappeared at the end of the second frame.
It's 3
But
missed
he's
serves.
reintroducing himself here in the third. But then that's another error here given away by UST.
3 so far. 3 missed serves.
Here's JP Bugawat. That was a chance there for UST to take the lead.
Yes, and to sustain that momentum as well. Something that they've been trying to achieve.
And you know what? Valera with the score here, you are seeing a better, more pumped up UST team.
Pumped up, smiling a bit more, and they need to here in set number 3.
It's all or nothing. De Vega, chance here to show us what he's got from the service line. All knotted up at 6, chance to take the lead. G-Boy. Silang to Rother.
Oh,
and what a reception. Kept alive? Yes.
Still good.
Barely kept alive, but we play on. Silang. Oh, and that's a big hit for Omandal.
That's a smart play by Umandal. Coming from the back row this time, beating that block of UST, and much needed side out for Signal.
You know, if you're UST, not much you can do about that because they had the blockers there.
Yes. Just a bit late.
Salvador!
No words for that swing of Salvador. Goodness.
Here's another look at that. Salvador. You know, he saw that opening. He saw that little corridor. It just went on the offensive. Much tighter frame. The best we've seen UST today. Silang. And that is going to be a point for Signal. Unable to really control that. G-Boy apologizing. 8-7 going into our first technical timeout. But ladies and gentlemen, we got a ball game. Don't go away.
Still live here in the Phil Oil Eco Oil Center. You're still watching the Spikers Turf Invitational Conference where power meets passion. The Signal Super Spikers may be the defending champions here in the Spikers Turf, but according to Steven Rotter, what he told me earlier, this 2025 Invitational Conference may be the hardest one he has faced to date. Specifically, this semifinals round, which is a lot harder for him due to good and competitive opposing teams and the confidence that they all have. And speaking of confidence, Roder shared with me he somehow struggles with it as well as composure during the game. But you know, to quote his words, it's hard to call myself by myself, but I have teammates who all help and tell me they need me. Talk about that signal or connection for the Super Spikers. Isn't that right, Paul and Jamie?
That's all right, May. We're going to talk a bit about that later on. But first, let me tell you about the first ever FIFA Futsal Women's World Cup happening from November 21 to December 7th at the Phil Sports Arena in Pasig City. Visit FIFA.com/tickets for more details, or you can watch it live via the Pilipinas Live app, One Sports, One Sports Plus, and RBTV. Back to her point there. It's interesting that Rotter was so vulnerable talking about that, the composure. It just goes to show you, you could be a star, but then sometimes you still need to overcome those mental barriers. Things like composure, consistency that affect everyone's game.
You know, and he did mention that he needs his team to do it. He can't do it alone. And
Yeah.
you can see after an error or even after a point, his teammates, you know, just give him that pat on the back. And that's what he needs as Umandal finding that open window in between that block of UST.
Well, you know what? USC have done such a good job here in set number 3. They are taking it to Signal. They've tied it up a couple of times already. The question is, though, can they prevent Signal from going on a bit of a run themselves? They go for G-Boy, and G-Boy De Vega with another point to tie it up.
You know, G-Boy De Vega is just improving after each set. He is taking control and also controlling the pace on here in set number 3, 10-all.
10-all here.
De Vega already with 13 big points.
Big improvement here for De Vega after what was a relatively lackluster second frame. And ladies and gentlemen, UST have taken the lead 11-10 against Signal. And cue the timeout. The Super Spikers need to talk.
Hindi tayo pwedeng complacent sa ginagawa natin. Bigyan natin importansya bawat detalyeng ginagawa natin. Kanina ka pa nalilate ka lagi sa pwestuhan yung bola para sa second ball. Doon, pag nasa likod ka. Ngayon, nasa harap ka, hindi mo kagad ng pwestuhan. Hey guys, hindi dapat ganyan yung attitude. Kailangan matapos na kagad natin to, ha? Let's go, let's go, let's go! Hey, Signal!
Well, you know what they're looking for? They're looking for that attitude adjustment here, talking about Signal. They want to make sure that they are as professional as they could be. They are not doing the little things that is expected of their partner.
You know, Coach Dexter, very firm in that timeout that they need to end this match in 3 sets. And these lapses need to lessen. Talking about Signal as Steven Rotter up in the air with that elevation, just breaking that momentum of UST.
You know what? This is a great way to get out of that timeout. Just making sure that you hit it with a bit of mustard. Jao Umandal on the service line here, the elder Umandal. Lifting that one up. Not that time.
Outside. Is there a touch on that one?
So UST will be getting it. And look, they are checking right now. And that was an angry hit at the siren because there's going to be a challenge, ball in, ball out. You said it was outside, partner. The official said it was in. So we're gonna find out who got that right.
Yeah, I could be wrong. Let's see.
Save yourself, partner.
Yeah,
Save
I saved
yourself.
myself there.
Yeah, but then if you're right, then you're right.
I'll take it back.
Okay, good.
Of course.
Yes,
it's a win-win for me.
Just making sure. I don't know if it is, but yeah, let's make sure.
I think that's inside. Oops.
Oh, Jamie, it's a good thing we're not officials.
Yeah, oops.
That was so in.
That's so inside.
You could have had a ball and a half inside.
Oops.
All right, so UST with the lead here until then, because it's all knotted up at 12.
It's the blocking that's been an issue for UST here. Can't solve this problem of Umandal. 12-all.
All right, so here is Bugawan. So Signal, as much as we'd like to say UST's elevation of their game is a key reason why that the score is tied up. Coach Dex mentioned it a while ago. They're not doing the little things as well that have really showed how confident they were at the beginning. As they score yet again, so they're saying that it is going to be 2 touches on Guaza, who's playing his first frame here, by the way.
It's the right call for UST here. UST up by 1 here in set number 3.
13-12. UST in charge. We haven't really said that for most of this night.
This entire game.
Again, this is the best we've seen UST. G-Boy De Vega. Good swing. Silang. Who does he look for?
Smart.
Oh, barely got there. Good swing. Rother with the reception. And that time, Naki overcooked it. So 14-12, UST looking good here.
That's the first spiking air by Shnaki.
Here's G-Boy De Vega. Silang lifts it up. Shnaki off the block.
That's a smart decision by Silang, activating Shnaki one more time here. Let's take a look at this replay. Breaking that block.
Here's Salvador.
Jeez.
What a reply. This is a different UST team.
What a swing by Salvador, going cross. Look at that.
Salvador did not play the first 2 frames, coming in here in the 3rd and making a big impression.
Big impression, big impact, and just boosting the momentum of UST.
Hernandez here on the service line.
Good
Silang. Good save there. And that's still in. Silang. Good setup.
Oh, goodness. That's inside. Coming out of nowhere. Umandal.
That's inside, and partner, the officials agree with you this time.
Yes.
Let's take a look at that again.
Another back row kill by Umandal. Right behind the defense of UST.
Just right at the corner. Salvador, soft touch. Guaza there to cover.
That's too tight. Guaza.
Oh, big swing from Umandal.
Still good.
Good effort from UST. Salvador, not that time. Oh, that's going to be a point here for UST. 16-14. UST go into the second technical timeout with the lead. This is a different Golden Spikers team. Don't go away. We'll see what happens when we return. Let's take a look at this again, partner. The fight, the effort.
Effort, yes, I was just gonna say that. And a simple play by Salvador off the block.
You know what? Salvador has kept the door ajar for UST to extend this game.
I mean, he has been that spark plug. He did start here in set number 3, and he's doing his job, taking responsibility of his role here for UST.
Sila. Oh, good swing. Alabar, Salvador. Now the signal reply, Guaza. Good defense, good 4D shown. And that is good again from UST.
And UST just has the momentum now here in set number 3 and CIGNAL. We have to keep in mind that they had a 5-set loss against the crisscross King Crunchers, so fatigue might be a consideration here for CIGNAL.
And of course, we're actually at a point in the game wherein the two teams have shuffled their lineups around.
Yes.
We're seeing guys who have not played in the first 2 sets. And so far, partner, UST has been the better team after all of these movements, all of these changes. But let's see if CIGNAL have something up their sleeve.
It's those in-game adjustments, but will the point be to Guaza and CIGNAL?
Yeah, so it'll be CIGNAL's point here. Coach Dex still giving instructions. Nas Guaza. Again, super athletic Nas Guaza. Salvador. Better blocking here coming from CIGNAL. Salvador has been scoring off the block numerous times this frame, but that time, that was an important point from CIGNAL to make it a 1-point game.
You know, you could see CIGNAL making those key in-game adjustments now before it's too late. Getting a block on Salvador. And no coverage for UST this time.
Here's Guaza again. 16 serving 17. UST in charge. Trying to double up their lead again. Hugawan lifts it up. They go to the wing. Umandal!
Hammering that one cross court. And with CIGNAL, if they get this set, they win this entire match. And although UST, yes, they had momentum, but the true test is also for CIGNAL if they stay calm during these moments.
It's about how you are able to recover from the punches that you get. And now Nas Guaza feels like he's been camped on this service line for quite some time. Lifting that up, they go to the other side and trying to keep that in. They are not able to. So the point will go to UST, who regained the lead here, 18-17. JP Bugawan unable to keep that in. Here's Salvador. And easily one of these spark plugs of this UST team in set number 3.
Wow.
And Umandal scoring off his younger brother.
You know, that's just a smart play. He knew he had to control his swing this time and making it a bit lighter, I would say. Let's take a look at this replay one more time.
Yeah.
Just a smart play up against that wall of UST.
18 all here. The game still poised on a razor's edge. And that time opting to go for power, but not getting the timing right.
Now we're nearing that 20 mark, Pau. It's important that UST or CIGNAL plays spotless volleyball now.
Yeah. I'm actually curious to see the error count here of CIGNAL in this set in particular, because it feels like this hasn't been the cleanest game as well. So we're going to try and bring that up for you. Our change here for UST as they are trying to put this to bed, and that's a good reply here from CIGNAL, not allowing UST to hit the 20-point mark just yet.
Now let's see if UST can even sustain this so far. And in set number 3, CIGNAL already having 7 errors. This is their highest error count this entire game.
In set number 1, they only had 3. In set number 2, they had 4.
Right.
So right now, it's as if it's all combined. What an ace. Oh my goodness. So there's the lead for CIGNAL. The body language has changed. Let's hear the timeout.
Kanina, ang ganda na rhythm nyo. Meron na kayong communication. Ngayon, walang communication. Nag-aagawan. Dalawang bola, pinag-agawan natin, no? Go. Ha? Ikot tayo isa. Yung block mo kay Jow kanina. Ililikot mo yung kamay mo, steady mo lang. Ha? Doon nawawala.
Patay isa, patay tayo isa.
Depensa ng cross court. Pag na-single block si Jow, siguradong babanatan yung cross court.
Tuloy tayo! Walang! Basa muna, tapos palo tayo isa.
Interesting how they mentioned about the momentum and what was different when they lost that momentum. Communication was the key, and they needed to point that out, partner. And I think that's one of the things that, in any sport in particular, you know things are going bad when it becomes quiet.
Yes. I mean, the most successful teams are the teams that are the loudest, but it's not just making random noise.
Yeah.
You get me?
It's a communication and informing each other.
Yes.
De Vega, what a swing to tie things up, 20-all.
You know, he's in the front row now. This is where Signal needs to maximize him and watch him even more now that he's in the front row.
Of course, all my UST there. Avila will come in. And this is where it becomes a bit of a chess match as well. Umandal will check out for the meantime. Avila, service specialist here for UST. 20-all. Casanya. A setup to De La Noche.
De La Noche, rather. That lefty opposite here, just needing and providing stability for Signal here. Take a look at that margin in between De Vega and the antenna. Perfect spot.
You know, it's that time of the season where he eats. Call him De La Noche Buena. 21-20. De Vega. What an answer.
What a bullet going sharp cross court this time. 21-all.
G-Boy De Vega. Feels like he's growing up right in front of our own eyes. 15 points, a single ace, 15 attacks, and a single ace for 16 points. Casanya with the setup. Oh, that time, De La Noche answers back, making it 22-21.
So seesaw battle here in set number 3, and De La Noche just leading the charge, and Valera a bit late in reacting to that block. Ooh.
And just too strong there. Rotter coming back in, as well as Silang. De La Noche, you know, it was a service error for him, but you have to say it was a good cameo with the 2 points that he scored.
Right. I mean, he was able to do his job, given the short amount of playing time.
Yeah, I mean, I think he'll be happy with his contribution. Buenas noches for him. 22-22. UST trying to get the advantage again. Silang to Rotter.
Ooh. A huge open space of defense for UST in that sequence in zone number 5. And Steven using his strength and length and guiding that ball.
Yeah, because at that time, you just saw that he just towered over everyone.
Right.
There was nothing that they could do blocking-wise.
Oh.
Overcooked it. And all of a sudden, Signal are within 1 of claiming this in a sweep. Match point for Signal up next. Umandal comes back in, trying to stem the tide here. It will be Shnaki on the service line, but a timeout called on the floor. Chance to listen in.
Nasa agad tayo. Nasaan ka, Dax? 2, okay. So, ganito ang gagawin mo. Dito ka, Pogi, no? Yes po, likod po. Iikot ka dun, ha? Dito, palo mo. Okay. Nandito si Kenjo, dito palo. G-Boy, dito ka, sa gitna. Oo, coach. Yan. Oo. Magpipritong dalawang ito, mamimili ka na dyan, magsi-single block lahat yan. Tatapatan niya si Brevin. Dapat madala mo yung middle, ha? Okay, single block, baluhin nyo pag nakakatay bola. Ready coverage, ha?
Well, for UST, trying to be as technical as possible, trying to draw up the right plays to try and survive this potential final point here from Signal. And Schnacki, who has feasted all day long, looking to end this one. Match point coming up.
Good serve.
Salvador.
Off speed.
Talk about the variety that Salvador is showing. He had a menu of choices and he picked the right one.
What a smart play. Off speed against that triple wall, and Silang very late to that one.
Now timeout for Signal. Let's listen in.
Hey guys, the good pass na?
Nasa harapan ka ba dyan?
Oo, tsaka.
Okay, play with Jao. So dito, quick lang, or maybe back quick si Nastin. Here, and dito. Yeah. Pero dito banda. Okay, para mag-single block. Pero silip ka rin. Tignan mo, kasi pag sinusundan, good, set with Jao. Pero pag hindi sinundan at nag-read block lang, pwede ka dito mag-reverse. O pwede ka magbigay sa first time. Hey, focus muna.
Isang patay. Patay natin to. Isang bolang maganda.
Well, based on Coach Dex's instructions, watch for Jao and watch for Nas
Yes.
Guaza to be a big feature of this next point. But remember, it all starts off with one good pass. There's Jao. And that's going to be out. And ladies and gentlemen, we are extending the frame at the very least. But they're going to ask for a challenge here. And it'll be a block touch challenge. Not quite sure if that was close, but maybe a chance here for Signal to recompose themselves. So let's see if there is an argument here. You know, sometimes you just give a challenge at the end just
Yeah, of
to
course.
just to check.
And use it as a timeout as well.
Yeah, I remember what happened in the men's World Championships for the Philippines. But let's take a look at that again, and oof, nope, nothing there. So 24 all. We are going to go into an extended frame. UST, to their credit, said that they will not go down fighting. They have this belief that they can hurt Signal. And here is a chance to do just that.
This is crucial here. They need a perfect set to either Steven or Umandal. Good reception there.
Silang. Oh, that is the perfect one you're looking for. But the answer was perfect too. Free ball to play with. Naz. Silang. Umandal.
That was a close one.
Very close.
And Umandal just needing to be that leader for Signal here. Take a look at this one more time. And good defense there, but Silang pushing that one to the left pin.
So here we go again. Second match point here for Signal. Oh, and what a way to put it to bed. 26-24. Asquaza, nice serve. And that'll do it, 26-24. And the sweep. And look at what it means to them and how much they love Naz and what it could mean for him potentially. Of course, there's so much joy for him here. Let's take a look at that. Wow, that was a meteor. That was a shooting star.
And what perfect timing for game point, and Signal just crushing UST in 3 sets.
But what a fight from UST in the third frame. They almost stole it, and they had their opportunities. But then without their national team players here, part of the crew, it was always going to be a tough battle against a team as deep as Signal. Well, what a ball game here, partner. And I think for Signal, very important for them to win it the way they did. In
Right.
3 frames, against UST, 25-17, 25-13, and 26-24. Thank you so much for that. But we're going to take a look at the highlights and our best player interview when we return. So don't go away. Spiker Surf will be right back.
Welcome back. You're still watching the Spikers Surf Invitational Conference where power meets passion. The Signal Super Spikers defeating the UST Golden Spikers in 3 sets. I have here with me our best player of the game from the Signal Super Spikers, Jao Umandal, with 26 big points. Congratulations. What a bounce back win, especially after last night's match. I want to ask, how important is this win? Especially it's your first semi-final victory. Kamusta yung moral ng team?
Siguro yung after namin matalo kahapon na sinabi namin sa bawat isa na hindi pa tapos yung season. Na kailangan namin mag-bounce back, kailangan namin makamove on agad para sa next game namin.
Exactly. And I also want to ask, UST won against Signal nung eliminations. Pero ito na yung comeback nyo dito na sa semifinals. So, paano nyo dadalhin tong momentum na to, yung moral na to? Especially, you guys are the defending champions of Spikers Turf.
Siguro, follow lang kami sa system saka sa mga pinag-aaralan namin every opponent namin. Siguro, kailangan talaga namin na mag-follow. Saka hindi lang basta mag-follow, kailangan miski kami mga player, inaaral namin yung opponent namin.
And there you have it. Well said. Do you have anyone to greet? Your family, your friends? Go ahead.
Nabati ko yung family ko na nanood, and then yung girlfriend ko, yung family ng girlfriend ko, sila Ella, sa Ate Nicole sa Hawaii, yung mga management ng Signal, and then, ayun, mga sumusuporta sa Signal, maraming salamat sa inyo.
Again, our best player of the game, Jao Umandal. Congratulations to you and to the rest of the Signal Super Spikers. Now back to you, Paolo and Jamie.
Thank you so much for that. That was Jao Umandal, our best player of the game. May Reyes, of course, side reporters, take you to the set 3 highlights. Partner, UST made it so tough in set number 3.
I mean, with the UST in set number 3, they were able to push Signal to their limits. I mean, there are many times that Salvador was able to test the patience of Signal, but just like how Signal does it every single time, they're able to recover, especially in that latter part of set number 3. Now let's talk about the set 3 stats here. 15 attacks for UST and 18 for Signal. And Pau, take a look at this, 9 airs. This is the highest that they had this entire match in set number 3 for Signal. And I think that's something that they should work on moving forward, which is on Monday already, to lessen the airs when they need to win that set.
And we always said, if UST could keep their errors down, they are always in it with a shout. Take a look at that. With only 4 opponent errors given away and the 15 attack points, they almost stole the frame. And of course, almost extended the contest. But commiserations to UST, down 0-2 in the semifinal stage, and Signal getting a 1-1 slate. Important win as we go on to our games on a Monday. It will be Kinda University taking on UST for our first fixture, followed by Signal Super Spikers taking on Cebu Spin Doctors. That's a big game. Of course, Pro Valley, taking on the Crisscross King Crunchers in our 5 p.m. fixture, still here at the Ville Oil Center in San Juan City. Thank you so much for joining us here for our coverage of the 2025 Spikers Surf Invitational Conference Semifinals. I'm Pablo De Rosario alongside Jamie La Vitoria. It was our May Reyes joining us on the side. And of course, thank you so much to Jobel, to Kay, and to Raul De Ocampo for our coverage today. And we will see you on Monday.